Let's talk about staffing for a moment. You know, you can talk to 100 dentists and they're all going to say the same thing if you ask them the most challenging part of their job, and that's going to be dealing with their staff, dealing with their team. You know, I think the word staff refers to an infection on your skin, so let's call them the team, please, because they're your dental team. The best bit of advice I can give you about working with team members is this: hire people that you like. How simple is that? And when you think about it, why wouldn't you, right? I have a barometer in my own mind when interviewing somebody who's going to be a potential team member, and that barometer is this: do I think I could go out to lunch with this person for an hour and enjoy my lunch? Because if the answer is no, I don't want them to work in my office either. Because I've got to face them. Some of my staff members, my team members, I see for more hours in a day than I see my wife on any given day. I want someone there whose company I enjoy, who is a reflection of perhaps my personality or a compliment to my personality, who is going to get things the way I do, is going to see the world like I do. I want happy, uplifted people, because I'm a pretty happy, uplifted person myself. I want people who are focused on customer service, people who are not playing games on their iPad or their iPhone in the middle of a meeting. I want people who are present and happy. One of my least favorite things is a little magnet. We bought an office, one of the offices we bought and built up and sold. Going into the doctor's office was a magnet of 9 faces and then an orange frame that you could move around to highlight the faces. And atop it said, "Today I'm feeling," and it had grumpy, distracted, ill. I don't know. There was like 2 happy faces. The other 7 were some form of negativity. And I thought, well, no wonder the dentist sold the practice. He must have hated dentistry, or maybe hated his team, hated his patient. He may have hated the whole darn thing. I don't know. But the fact that he felt, or somebody felt, the need to hang up this little magnetized plaque demonstrating his emotional output for the day, I thought was horrifying. This is off the key a little bit, but I have another practice that we bought where there was a doorbell at the front desk. So you walked in the office and there's a door with a little sliding window, and next to it was a doorbell, and it simply said, "Please ring bell for service." It is the very reason that I wrote a book titled Ring Bell for Service, because in this office, it was a standard doorbell. It looked like a doorbell that lights up, only this wasn't lit up. We took it off the wall, and when we found out it was a dummy doorbell. It went nowhere. There was no chime in the back, no ring, no tone. It did not alert anybody to anything. It said, "Please ring bell and have a seat." That's what it said. "Please ring bell and have a seat." So what they should have said was, "We don't care if you're here, sit your butt down in a chair." Because that's all you were getting out of it. What a horrible customer service message, although people probably thought they were alerting the front desk to the fact that they were there. It was inspirational for a book, so I'm glad that I saw that. But back to the people in hiring. Sorry, I get distracted. So if you're going to hire people that you like and that you can respect and respect you and that you wouldn't mind going to have lunch with, carry this down the road a few more years. Now you've got a staff of 5 or 6 or 7, or I've got a team of 30 now. When you're ready to hire a new person, do you need to be the one hiring that person? If you've surrounded yourself with like-minded individuals, all of whom you appreciate and respect and they respect you back, could you let them do the hiring of the next person? Sure. And that's kind of what happens now. I like to meet the person just to make sure, but after 60 seconds, I got a pretty good vibe of how someone's going to behave and react and be a part of our team. So I mostly let my team do it. For a long time before we were as big as we are, I would insist that the new higher potential, we'd have 2 or 3 lined up, come and have lunch with my team. And we would either send them all out if it was a small enough group, 6 or 8 people, send them out to a local pizza place or something. Or when we got bigger, we have a big break room, let them come and have lunch with my team there. And after an hour of having a lunch with my team members, they would come back and tell me whether or not to hire that person. Easy. But here's what I loved about it. Let's say that we hired someone who wasn't quite the right person. And I don't mean a flagrant foul, not we messed up completely. More like she impressed us then, but what happens to that person if you, doctor, hire that person without registering anybody else's opinion? If you have 4 candidates come in, you say, all right, Amy's my best candidate, we're going to hire Amy. And Amy turns out to be a dud and kind of a wishy-washy person, maybe has a lot of more bad days than good days, right? And you did all the hiring. Who's responsible for that person? You are. And who's going to remind you of it every day? The rest of your team. What if your team members were responsible for telling you this is the one we want? We had lunch with 3 different young ladies, and we want this one. We want Amy. And then Amy doesn't live up to speed. Who's responsible for that? Not me anymore. Now my whole team is. Do they have a sense of responsibility? Yeah. And you know what they do? They encourage, they build, they support, they train, they teach. They bring that person up to speed. Or if it's not going to work after a week, they do the firing. Not directly. No one goes up and says, you're fired. It's just they make that person feel so darn uncomfortable to be there, the person wants to quit. And then I get to spread the bad news that, yeah, you're right, you don't belong here. Sorry about that. But the team is involved. They're emotionally and intellectually involved in keeping that person because they did the hiring. So next time you got to do hire, consider that method. I think you'll be surprised at how well it works.